Hello. As we begin learning time today, I'd like to remind you that we have a series of activities that are made available to families to do at home. From Rest, Pray, Share. This is one that tracks where we are in Lent. We have some that are from the SALT project as well, of different things to do in Lent. Here is a mini labyrinth meditation that I might do right now with you if you like. It's just a breathing in and a breathing out. And we have these available in pews and at home for people. And it's simply breathing in. And with every breath you take, you can remember that God's presence, that Holy Spirit is filling you, that newness and life come all the time. At every cell of your body is being remade all the time. And that's what this Lenten story is about. Our floriography card, too, for today is around the idea of I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? It's a quote from Isaiah. And we are talking about that in worship, about God doing something new and new life in the wilderness and in the doubt and the time of despair. And right now in Lent, we're waiting. We're preparing ourselves for the Good Friday time, preparing for the sense of absence of hope and of death, and thinking about what that means in our lives. But we also have that hint of the new life to come. If you have ever had a loved one pass away, you may have received a gift of a plant. Sometimes when there is death, we acknowledge, celebrate, or console with life, like flowers. So a bouquet or an arrangement for the funeral, or perhaps a living potted plant. When my grandparents passed away, at each time our family received some potted plants. And each time I kept one. And I've had some of them for a long time. And when I moved from my apartment to my house, I gave away all of my plants except the 4 that I had kind of in my heart represented that caring and remembrance of my grandparents. Now you might know that if you move a plant, it may or may not be pleased with its new environment. And this winter particularly, this has been the case as well. Now my potted plants have always grumbled in the winter. I don't keep my house particularly warm, and lots of plants go a bit dormant anyway. So I often do wonder, are they going to be okay? But this year particularly, I was really concerned. This beautiful copper pot that had this wonderful vine in it from when my Nana passed away, it was really unhappy. I had put it in a room away from a small person's hands, and that room was drier and colder than I had realized. And you can see it is not flourishing. It looks completely dead. And one that I cared about since 1995 when my grandpa passed away, it also had no living pieces in it. And I was feeling pretty bad. I thought, I'm not taking care of these things. All they wanted was water and love. And I've been giving them a little bit of water and a little bit of light, but it doesn't seem to have been enough. But I held out hope. And this plant, with a repositioning, some more care and attention, has come back. And this is a resilient little plant. This was the only one that survived the original overcrowded mix that came to us from the florist. And so this prayer plant is a nice sign of hope, and I'm hoping that in the spring it'll have a tiny, delicate flower. So I'll be trimming away the parts that are not flourishing and rejoicing that it's still here. It surprised me again. Love is like that. Love can sustain and restore and surprise and delight. And God has these stories about that through the life of Jesus and through our lives and the work we do for each other. Love can restore, renew, and refresh. So, behold, God is doing a new thing with you right now, right this moment. But do you perceive it? A friend knew I was feeling really unhappy about that one plant that didn't make it, and said, I think the stems are still okay, just the stems. And sure enough, putting them in a little water, there are new buds starting. The florography card for this Sunday that talks about this particular phrase, I am about to do a new thing, suggests that we think about the hymn, Now the Green Blade Riseth. It's a beautiful one, and it's a tune that we hear often at Christmas too, but with different words. And the spring version has a couple of verses that I really like. Now the green blade riseth from the buried grain, wheat that in dark earth many days hath lain. Love lives again, that with the dead has been. Love is come again, like wheat that springeth green. When our hearts are wintry, grieving or in pain, Jesus' love can call us back to life again. Fields of our hearts that dead and bare have been, love is come again, like wheat that springeth green. I hope you will behold the new good things that are happening right now in your life and through love.